At the beginning of the story, Jez and his colleagues, Paul and Jim, are shown engaging in banter while patronizing the establishment during their post-work hours. While observing Cassandra, who appears heavily intoxicated, Jez approaches Cassandra and offers assistance, bringing her back to his apartment to ensure her safety. Once inside his residence, Jez's initial helpfulness gradually evolves into inappropriate advances. Believing that Cassandra is still intoxicated, Jez begins to kiss her and eventually undresses her without consent. Upon realizing that Cassandra has regained consciousness and become completely sober, Cassandra suddenly confronts him, revealing she's been lucid all along, leaving Jez in shock. Cassandra, who is walking down a street in the morning after a night of partying. Soon we know that Cassandra works at a local coffee shop and lives with her caring father and anxious mother. Despite putting on a facade of normalcy, it becomes clear that Cassandra harbors deep secrets. By day, she's the disinterested barista at a coffee shop, where she encounters Ryan, an old classmate who awkwardly tries to reconnect. Despite his faux pas, he asks her out, and in a surprising twist, she accepts after spitting in his coffee. The story paints Cassandra as a promising young woman with a dark twist. The scene unfolds with Cassandra in Neil's apartment, surrounded by the trappings of his pseudo-intellectual life. Neil's demeanor shifts between concern and self-satisfaction, believing he's formed a connection with her. Despite Cassandra's request to leave, Neil persists, escalating his physical advances until Cassandra forcefully asserts herself, startling him into retreat. Cassandra's actions suggest a calculated response to Neil's advances, revealing her as a character with depth and agency, navigating a world where such encounters are fraught with complexity and risk. As Neil's fear and realization set in, Cassandra leaves him shaken, adding his name to her list of similar encounters. The next morning, her mother's distress over Cassandra's unconventional lifestyle is palpable, and the gift of a suitcase is a not-so-subtle nudge towards independence. At work, her boss Gail challenges her to seek more from life, but Cassandra is steadfast in her rejection of a conventional path. The arrival of Ryan at the coffee shop adds a twist of potential friendship. As she navigates the complexities of her relationships and the expectations placed upon her. Cassandra's struggle with her past decisions, her current situation, and her uncertain future is palpable, making for a compelling narrative that resonates with the challenges of self-discovery and societal norms. Cassandra navigates her evolving relationship with Ryan. Gail's blunt humor provides a lighthearted counterpoint to the more serious undertones of Cassandra's personal journey. The interactions between the characters are rich with subtext, revealing their vulnerabilities and desires. Cassandra's encounter with Madison at the hotel restaurant sets the stage for a confrontation that's been brewing beneath the surface. Dressed to impress and armed with a plan, Cassandra's actions suggest she's ready to address past grievances, possibly related to Al Monroe and their shared history. Madison's arrival, with her polished exterior and subtly cutting remarks. The scene is ripe with anticipation, as Cassandra prepares to navigate the complexities of their reunion. The tension between Cassandra and Madison is palpable as they revisit the past and confront the events that led to Cassandra's departure from their shared college life. Madison's discomfort grows as Cassandra probes deeper, challenging her to acknowledge the impact of her actions and the dismissive attitude she and others held. After leaving a hotel watched by Tony, ignores multiple calls from Madison. Cassandra crosses out Madison's name from a list in her book, then tricks Amber, a high school girl, into thinking she's a makeup artist for a boy band, leading Amber to eagerly help her with directions. Cassandra engages in a deceptive ploy with Amber, a high school student and fan of the boy band Wet Dreams, to gain her trust. She then confronts Dean Walker at Forest University about a past incident involving a student named Nina Fisher, who was allegedly assaulted by a student named Al Monroe. Dean Walker struggles to recall the case, reflecting the challenges and complexities of such accusations within the university setting. Cassandra challenges Dean Walker's stance on sexual assault accusations, highlighting the university's tendency to protect the accused at the expense of the victims. The conversation escalates when Cassandra claims to have left Dean Walker's daughter, Amber, with the same boys accused of assaulting her friend Nina. This is revealed to be a ploy to make Dean Walker empathize with the victims. Cassandra ultimately discloses that Amber is safe, waiting for a boy band at a diner, exposing Dean's bias and prompting a reflection on her actions. She then has a violent outburst against a rude driver, George, showing her inner turmoil. Later, Cassandra avoids her date with Ryan, claiming exhaustion. Cassandra questioning why her family never discussed the painful event, suggesting deep unresolved issues. Cassandra's nighttime activities, a form of vigilante justice against disrespectful men, escalate when she confronts Paul at a bar, pretending to be drunk. Ryan, a potential love interest, witnesses this and feels betrayed. Cassandra confronts Jordan Green, a lawyer who once defended Alexander Monroe against accusations made by a girl named Nina. Jordan, now on sabbatical and haunted by his past actions, admits to Cassandra that he remembers Nina and the case. He reveals his guilt over the tactics used to discredit victims and expresses a desperate need for absolution, unable to forgive himself for the harm he's caused. Cassandra's visit serves as a catalyst for Jordan's reckoning with his conscience, illustrating the long-lasting impact of such cases on all involved. She confronts Jordan, who is burdened with guilt over his past legal practices, and he gratefully accepts her forgiveness. Cassandra then faces Mrs. Fisher, Nina's mother, who urges her to move on from the past. Lastly, Cassandra attempts to reconcile with Ryan, expressing genuine interest in him despite her complex situation. Cassandra and Ryan navigate the complexities of their relationship, finding humor and connection despite past misunderstandings. The narrative closes with a family dinner, introducing Ryan to Cassandra's parents, where laughter and light-hearted banter suggest a new beginning. The interactions between Cassandra and the other characters are filled with emotional depth, showcasing the nuances of forgiveness, reconciliation, and the search for happiness. Madison confesses to Cassandra about a video that implicates their friend group in a scandal involving their friend Nina. Overcome with guilt, Madison hands over an old phone with the video to Cassandra and asks to cut ties. Cassandra, shocked and heartbroken, confronts Ryan, who is also in the video, forcing him to face the truth he once laughed off. The story captures a raw moment of reckoning with the consequences of one's actions. Cassandra's confrontation with Ryan escalates as she leverages a damning video to coerce him into revealing the location of Al Monroe's bachelor party. Despite Ryan's pleas and emotional turmoil, the scene culminates with Cassandra, disguised and determined, arriving at the secluded cabin where the party is in full swing, ready to face Al Monroe and the memories he represents. Cassandra's infiltration of Al Monroe's bachelor party takes a dramatic turn as she plays into the rowdy crowd's expectations. Disguised as a nurse, she commands the attention and obedience of the men, who are unaware of her true intentions. The scene intensifies as she leads a handcuffed Al Monroe away from the raucous celebration to a private room, leaving his fate hanging in the balance. Cassandra, under the guise of a stripper named Candy, confronts Al Monroe during his bachelor party. She reveals her true identity as Nina Fisher, a name that sends Al into a panic as he realizes the gravity of the situation. Cassandra's calculated actions and the revelation of a video documenting a past incident put Al in a state of desperation. In a chilling confrontation, Cassandra faces Al Monroe, the man she holds responsible for a grave injustice against her friend Nina. As she prepares to perform a symbolic act of retribution with her surgical scalpel, Al panics, pleading for mercy. The tension escalates when Al breaks free and overpowers Cassandra, leading to a desperate struggle. Despite Cassandra's valiant efforts, Al ultimately suffocates her with a pillow in a harrowing scene of raw emotion and tragedy. The story ends on a somber note, with Cassandra's lifeless body and Al's tearful remorse, leaving a stark reminder of the irreversible consequences of one's actions. The morning after a harrowing night reveals a scene frozen in time, with Al Monroe handcuffed to a bedpost. Despite Al's distraught confessions, Joe quickly shifts into damage control, insisting on a cover-up to protect Al's future. As they enact their plan, disposing of evidence in a bonfire, the weight of their actions hangs heavy in the air. Meanwhile, Cassandra's absence sends ripples of concern through her family, with detectives unable to trace her last steps, painting a picture of a woman determined to vanish without a trace. In the aftermath of Cassandra's disappearance, the facade of normalcy crumbles as Detective Walker questions Ryan, her recent ex-boyfriend. Ryan, caught between guilt and self-preservation, feigns ignorance about Cassandra's whereabouts. Meanwhile, Al Monroe's wedding unfolds in stark contrast to the unfolding investigation. The idyllic setting and joyous celebrations mask the sinister secret shared between Al and his best man. The narrative weaves a tale of deception, betrayal, and the haunting consequences of a crime concealed beneath the veneer of societal norms. As the wedding of Al Monroe unfolds, the veneer of celebration is shattered by the arrival of the police, signaling the unraveling of a meticulously laid plan. The discovery of evidence and the scheduled messages create a domino effect, leading to Al's arrest amidst his own nuptials. As her final message to Ryan arrives, a haunting echo of her determination for justice.